I got back from our Halloween time trip to Disneyland earlier this month, so today I have a little haul of the things that I got on the trip as well as a bit of a trip review and recap. I already have up a few other videos from our trip, 2 videos that are kind of like follow us along throughout our whole trip, but they're not vlogs because I just do not have the constitution of a vlogger. And then the other video is all about all the gluten-free food that I ate while there and kind of a full gluten-free quick service Disneyland guide. And for this video, I'll have timestamps and chapters for everything listed in the description. So for our Disneyland trip, we were there for 4 full days and we stayed at the Clarion Hotel, Anaheim. It's a good neighbor hotel on Harbor Boulevard, about 0.7 miles away from the harbor entrance to the parks. This was basically the cheapest yet kind of close hotel we could find. Overall, totally happy with our stay, the rooms, everything there. But what actually ended up being great is that this hotel is directly across the street from the Toy Story parking lot. So instead of having to walk to and from the parks, what we did was just walk directly across the street to the Toy Story parking lot. There you go through security, which was so nice and stress-free, and then you get on buses that take you right to the entrance of the parks. This really saved us a lot of time and energy with walking. We did walk to the parks on the first day, but once we figured out this whole system, it was so much nicer not having to go through security at the Harbor Boulevard entrance, because you get off the Toy Story buses and you've already been through security. You just head right into the front gates of the parks. And then this was great at night as well. It was never more than, say, a 5-minute wait for a bus. And at the end of the day, after already walking 10 miles, you don't have to walk almost another mile back to the hotel. You get to sit down on a nice bus. So Clarion Hotel, overall, really nice option for the inexpensive price and really good location for the Toy Story parking lot, so you can take advantage of the buses there. For our trip, we did add on Park Hopper and Genie Plus to our tickets. We ended up hardly doing any park hopping, mainly just due to how many restrictions there were, since you can't park hop until 1 p.m. And 2 of the days that we were there, California Adventure closed early at 6 p.m. for Oogie Boogie Bash. So if you started the day at Disneyland, you theoretically could only hop to DCA between 1 and 6 p.m. And I think it's around 3 p.m. they start letting people in for Oogie Boogie Bash. So it really just made it so much more difficult to be able to take advantage of Park Hopper. Like, I would have loved if we could start the day in Disneyland, rope drop, do the stuff there, then head over to DCA, say around like 11, have lunch at noon. But no, the earliest you could do that is 1 p.m. And if it was an Oogie Boogie Bash, you couldn't really even stay long enough in DCA to have dinner. So that was definitely, I think, the biggest downside to coming during the Halloween season when they have such frequent Halloween parties. And obviously, the only reason that Disney has these restrictions is just because they like the control over this. They like the control of the reservation systems. They can limit how many cast members they need to have working. So far, it's just like reducing the guest experience. And then in terms of Genie Plus, when we were there, it was $20 a day per person. Since then, Disney has now increased the base price to $25 and they now have surge pricing. So Saturday, yesterday, Genie Plus was $30 per person. At Disneyland, it does include PhotoPass, so you get a little bit something extra, but we didn't do much PhotoPass aside from getting our ride photos because most every PhotoPass photographer for a cool thing had a really long line and we're already waiting in lines during the day. So we didn't get a whole bunch of extra added value from that. When I was at Walt Disney World earlier this year, that's when it was still $15 per person per day. And I really felt like we got good value out of Genie Plus at Walt Disney World. But that's also because at Disney World, almost every attraction has a lightning lane, so you can always be taking advantage and booking lightning lanes, stacking lightning lanes, where at Disneyland, there is lots of attractions that are not included, which it's not necessarily a good thing to have every attraction included, especially if you want to wait in a standby line, but just purely in terms of the value for what we are paying for. It just felt like way less worth it at Disneyland, and also the fact that it's more expensive. And what's strange is that Max Pass at Disneyland was like the exact same price and kind of same setup, $20, book your Fast Passes on your phone, includes PhotoPass. But how it was with the whole Fast Pass system and when Fast Passes were free for everyone else, Max Pass always felt really worth it to me. And Genie Plus, again, is just like another reduction of the guest experience. They haven't even had it around for long. It's already expensive. They've already increased the pricing. They're having surge pricing now for the busier days. The base of all park ticket prices at Disneyland also went up in the last few weeks. So not only is your ticket to get in more expensive, but now if you want to skip the lines and do Genie Plus, that's more expensive. So this is where like I get to go to Disneyland so infrequently that it's like, sure, I'll pay for it, but it's just like really weighing down on you more, especially when they're just like trying to raise the prices on everything. But pretty soon it's just kind of gonna reach a breaking point. And I mean, we still had an awesome time on our trip. Like I love going to the parks, like I love theme parks, but you could kind of sense that the cast members really felt underpaid, underappreciated, and understaffed. Like the other kind of magic of Disney are the cast members. And like, yes, there were like a few like great cast members, but it's hard to keep up such magic for guests every day when you're barely paid a livable wage by a company that absolutely should be able to provide much better salaries and working conditions. A shout out to all of the Disney Parks cast members. I hope that the Disney company really realizes and appreciates how invaluable the cast members are to the whole theme park experience, and starts paying actual good living wages. Now, some other notes for the trip for things that were kind of new and fun to experience. First would just be kind of like the Halloween-based things in Disneyland Park, and particularly Haunted Mansion Holiday. I've talked about in a number of videos how I do not like The Nightmare Before Christmas. I just really hate the movie. It is the opposite of my vibe, but I loved Haunted Mansion Holiday. We rode it twice. The overlay is absolutely incredible. They just so completely transform the whole ride. It's so colorful and vibrant, and that felt truly special to be able to experience that. And I am firmly in the camp that The Nightmare Before Christmas is a Halloween movie. Riding the ride felt like perfect Halloween time. So that was great to experience. I also got to cross another Disneyland item off of my bucket list that's been there for a while, and that was riding the Canoes. I was so excited I finally got to ride the Canoes. It did not just live up to, but it surpassed my expectations. I just love the fact that you're just in a group of people, just in a canoe, not on a track, not nothing, just out there floating, rowing along the rivers of America. It was such a cool, unique vantage point of stuff. By the time we were about to pull back up to the docks, I was like, wait, I'm ready to keep going. Let's just go on again. And oddly, because being in the parks, your legs and your feet get so tired from all of the standing and the walking, it actually felt really good to like use your arms and do the rowing. So the Canoes will absolutely be a must-do every time I go back to Disneyland. And in DCA, the big new thing for us was Avengers Campus. We got to experience all of that for the first time. I am not a very big Marvel person. It's mainly just that there's such an oversaturation of so many Marvel movies and characters and storylines that I kind of, gave up following everything years ago. But Avengers Campus is such a success from all of, the dynamic action that happens. There's constantly a walk around character. There's these little shows and performances. There was this amazing interaction with Spider-Man. It was so cool. Seeing the Spider-Man animatronic fling through the air. I could watch that all day long. So Avengers Campus really has what Galaxy's Edge is missing, this kind of kinetic energy from all the characters around, the little shows that they put on. I want to go back so that I can spend more time in Avengers Campus. They just did such a cool job with the experience there. It was also a big highlight to see all the Halloween decorations in Cars Land. That was so cool, and also seeing it all lit up at night. I'm disappointed though because every time we wanted to ride Luigi's Honkin' Halloween, the ride went down. But on the plus side, we rode Radiator Springs Racers twice in a row with absolutely zero wait using the single rider line. The standby at that time and the entire time was at least 90 minutes. An individual Lightning Lane was $15 to buy. And both times we got to go in the same car together with legitimately zero wait through single rider. So that was great. So that is kind of the recap and review of the trip, and now this is the haul portion of the things that I got. So I'm actually going to start with some things that are in my background already because I picked up a number of sippers. So this first one that I got here is this really adorable like Mickey pumpkin snow globe sipper. You can see this basically looks like a snow globe, but designed to be a sipper. There's kind of a little hole in the top for you to put the straw. It's this adorable Mickey pumpkin, and at the bottom it says Happy Halloween with all of the characters in their Halloween costumes. So this one comes with a fountain beverage. They gave me a beverage in just like a regular cup so that you can have this in kind of pristine condition, which I really like because I think something like this makes for a really great Halloween decoration. And so it's a great part of the seasonal decor. The other item from my background is the Poison Apple Stein. I was so excited to get this because beforehand I did not see any posts from anybody saying that this was available for sale on the parks. They've done different variations of this in previous years. I've always wanted one, but have like just never jumped for one on eBay. But I found where they had these. We were sitting at Red Rose Tavern. I was looking across at the Fantasyland churro cart, and it looked like they had one like sitting out there. And then I saw somebody do a transaction and they walked away with one. I'm like, oh my gosh, they have the Poison Apple Steins. So the apple itself is red glitter, which I think is a really nice touch. You can pop open the lid, and then on the inside you can turn on the lights here. So can't see much in this lighting, but it does light up. This is also like really hefty. I was really surprised by how nice quality and heavy it is. So this is just another super awesome, perfect Halloween decor item. I love decorating for Halloween. Yeah, the churro cart in Fantasyland was the only place that I saw them selling these. And then the last sipper type item that I got was this Halloween travel mug. At Disney World, the travel mugs come with handles, but at Disneyland, they have this little attachment and then a lanyard on it. So the lanyard is very fun and Halloween-y. And then the artwork on here is so gorgeous. This is Minnie and Mickey in the Haunted Mansion. This design is by Jeff Granito, and Jeff Granito is definitely my favorite of the Disney artists. Anytime I see a piece and I love it, it ends up being done by Jeff Granito. And I actually just use these cups a ton during the day as my little water cups. It's also super cute at the top. They have the little Mickey bit on the lid that opens up. So gorgeous design, and this will be the one sipper that still functions as a cup. So next we have the pins that I got. And before I show the pins that I bought in the parks, I'm going to show the pins that I had to buy on eBay because they did not have these available anywhere. These are some of the Halloween pins. The only Halloween pin that they had everywhere. They had a million of the Daisy pins, and they had some of the Chippendale pins, and that was it. And we checked every location. So when I got back home, I had to go on eBay to get these because especially for a Halloween time trip, I really wanted some of the Halloween pins. So these are the 3 Halloween pins that I had to buy on eBay because these must have been kind of long sold out all throughout the parks. You have the Halloween Castle, the Minnie Mouse, and the Mickey Mouse, both in their costumes. And we did get to see Minnie and Mickey in their new Halloween costumes. They are super adorable. So these will kind of be my commemorative pins from the Halloween trip. In addition to like not seeing like any other Halloween pins there, the other pins that we didn't see, there were no 2022 pins. There was just like almost no 2022 merchandise at all. And I kind of noticed this at Disney World too earlier this year, just like very little year-dated merch. Which like Disney used to always have like, you know, year-dated merch, year-dated pins, whatnot. But it seems like after 2020 and when they got left with a lot of 2020 dated merchandise, I don't know if they've just kind of like backed away from the year-dated stuff or what. But now here's actually the pins that I got while at Disneyland, and a number of them were really new releases. So firstly, I got 2 brand new Moana pins. You can tell these pins are really new based on the brand new style of the backer card, how it has the Disney pins here at the bottom. This one pin here is this beautiful gold circle Moana, and then we also have this full body Moana, and they had corresponding pins for a lot of the princesses. Moana is kind of like the only princess adjacent character that I do collect, and these were just too pretty to pass up. Then I got a few attractions related pins. So first of all, I got this Spider-Man Web Suppliers pin. This is kind of my attraction pin for Web Slingers. I really liked that ride. That was super fun. The pin is kind of like themed to Avengers Campus. It has amazing spelled out. Then I got this new awesome pin for Cars Land. I don't think I have any other like specific Cars Land pins, so it's so nice that they came out with this. Cars Land is the coolest. And then this pin is absolutely massive. This is for Indiana Jones, Temple of the Forbidden Eye. Indy on it, he slides up and down. You can tell kind of compared to the Spider-Man pin just how big this pin is. Indiana Jones, one of the very best theme park attractions. Some of the other pins that I got were these new Coco Open Editions. I really like to collect Coco pins, so this is a newish set that you have one with Miguel and then one with Hector. And then lastly, I got 2 Disneyland park related pins. So first is this very pretty kind of like floral Princess Castle-y looking classic Disneyland D. This was the first time that I had seen this pin. It was just really pretty. And then I got, you can tell this is an old pin based on its backer card, but this is Sleeping Beauty's castle with the balloon, and I wanted to get this because I have the matching pin for Walt Disney World with Cinderella's castle. So I thought that it would be really cute having the 2 matching castles. And then I got 3 more things that fit along in the miscellaneous category. So first is this little Mickey Pumpkin Halloween ornament. This I think is technically like a D-Tech item, you know, like where you can customize phone cases and whatnot. This happened to be pre-made there, but I think you could technically like make it yourself. It's kind of like an acrylic plasticky type material. Cute Mickey Pumpkin, but I really liked it because it had 2022 on it, so this is a nice kind of, you know, ornament to put on the tree specifically for the year, and because there were, you know, so few things that had any years on them that I really liked this as a souvenir. And I did end up getting 1 shirt. This is a really cool Disneyland Resort attractions shirt. Really fun, stylized attractions. So this is totally my style. And then the last thing in here, we actually got our silhouettes done. So I got my silhouette and I got it in one of the frames. Silhouettes are one of the coolest souvenirs you can get. They're also really inexpensive. A silhouette itself I think is only $12. We kind of kept an eye on how long the line for the silhouettes was, and we found a time in the middle of the day where we waited 5, maybe 10 minutes. So we'll have to see if this does indeed look like myself. To me, this looks a little bit more kind of like a generic girl, but the artistry of doing the silhouettes is just so cool. And then I think the frame itself is an extra $20. I had thought based on its appearance it was going to be a wooden frame, but yeah, obviously no, this is just a plastic frame, kind of made to look like it has wood detailing on it. But highly recommend doing a silhouette while you're there. Alright, so that is everything that I got on our Halloween time trip to Disneyland, and a bit of a recap and review of our trip. Likely sometime early next year, we're aiming to move to the kind of San Diego Carlsbad area. So I'm hoping Disney may resume sales of Magic Keys, because Disneyland may not be a fantastical kind of like once every few years or like once a year trip. Next year, it could only be like an hour drive away. Because it's like the more you go to Disneyland, you realize why it's such a locals park and why people keep coming back and back. That like Disneyland is a lifetime park. And hopefully I can get back sooner rather than later. But thanks for watching.